So this is Late Night with Seth Rogen. And the basic thing I just heard now is, why did Trump do that? First, he made jokes that it was because he didn't like Maduro's dancing, that he made, like when he threatened, look at that, he threatened, he danced about it. So it's like he made fun that Trump would conquer it. Oh, this shows you the exact behavior I've been talking about, that I triggered all the people, organizations, the whole city of Montreal against one sick old person. No mind that it's unfair, and that if there is karma, which I think any sane person knows karma must exist. If there's laws that are made up or reconditioned from basic human rights and organizing a society, which that's what regular government is, it's not governing, it's sharing and living. It's basically organized living. It shouldn't be called governing. Nobody should have any governance over someone. There should be rules that are shared and communal living. It's like when you go to a place that's co-op. Governments should be co-oping with people, not because they're voted and that's why the system is corrupt. Basically, all I'm trying to say is that he made fun that Trump mentioned that it was because of oil that he attacked Venezuela. So isn't that good? At least it's like I tried to put myself, man, it wouldn't change the fact that I'm tormented and followed and punished every day in different ways, and it's going to continue. I just realized that now it's getting close to or around 7 years. It won't stop, just like it didn't stop. And even if I would move, maybe if I would have found a way to move before all this happened with the police, maybe EPIPHANY wouldn't follow me. They may have, because there was people that were directors that were working for the city. That's the thing, is it's punishment, intimidation. No one forgets, even when people ask for help in a way they don't like. So is Montreal or Canada much better than the United States or Russia or China in violence or dominating others? When you torture a citizen, and there's evidence on video, people, and you're seeing it, and I'm saying it, and I'm testifying, and I'm asking to be polygraphed, and I'm telling people, do I sound effing insane? I sound insanely frustrated, insanely that I should be revengeful and hateful. Had I not been spiritual, right now my hate would have gone so bad that I would have chosen prison and death over a few people to get revenge on. Obviously, it would have happened by now, like, a million times, not those theories. Oh, look, he says he may defend himself and against no police. I would have been saying, no, I'm after you, just like you're after me, in a sneaky, cowardly way. I would have been just like Trump. That's why Trump is in everybody's face. He's reminding people, my dear Montreal police, of what you are. And he's saying it. He has the balls to say it. And that's why they make fun of him, that he's near mafioso gang types. But at least that's what I respect about gangs, that they risk even from themselves to get a knife in the back, just like Julius Caesar. It was the last organized criminal gang, was Rome. One of the biggest, beautiful, because at least they own up to it. They wrote it in the history what they did. They called it empire, but all it means is an organized gang. An empire is an organized gang. When someone organizes to hurt someone that asks you for help, there is no gang that could do that. Even if you ask, Jesus, it's disgusting. All I'm saying is disgusting. When I got my first little tattoo, I took a taxi because I was like drinking and I was like scared of the pain when I was 17. And people say you need parents' consent. And I got a little tattoo. The taxi driver was an ex-member of Hell's Angels. I'm not going to say, but this is like in the 80s or 80s. And he was nicer to me than doctors or family, because it doesn't matter what you do when you're in your extreme and hunting for money. It doesn't matter that police or security or people in Maxi or big things, big companies say, well, we have to torture Warlock Super because it's our job. We have to follow him, spy on all these ambulances, police. You see them roaming, that undercover UPS, and yet they think I don't see them, even other cars. I don't know how they even if they wouldn't attack me now, they're tormenting me so much. And I thought it was going to stop just because one day they didn't follow me with marked vehicles. Now the police shows they parked right in front of my bus. Like, meaning they parked there and then they did the U-turn, meaning there was no reason for that. If they were going in the mall, they could have parked in the parking. They could have parked like on the freaking sidewalk near the entrance to the mall. That was just a message for me, police. Message received. But you know what I would like more than that? That you don't gaslight that I'm crazy that I say that you're following and also destroying my body slowly but surely, and it's building up that I can't even tie my shoes. That's how much inflamed my nervous system and my glands. You're killing me and you're torturing me every day, and it's breaking down my body. And you're bragging that I'm crazy, meaning it's on video. You have motive because you're so offended and I recorded you. And I have recordings, or I had, that you said, hold the mask with your finger to get my fingerprints. An idiot would know. But in that moment, I was so trusting. I'll say, there must be a reason. The elastic is broken on the thing for the oxygen. You actually tell someone, hold it, hold it. What the hell? It's stupid that I didn't say, hey, you guys are... If I would have gone back in time and not focused on my stress and my reaction to pesticide, which now I still get sick. I bleed, I get my water, everything. I can't open my windows in 45 degrees in summer. So this is what I mean, police. I don't know how to tell you. Can you own up to what you do a little bit? Can you tell people, yeah, we're tormenting him. Yeah, we didn't like the way he recorded us and insisted we help him. We got offended by that. That's the truth. There's nothing that's going to make you tell me, just like saying, look, he imagines people who inject larvae in them. Yeah, just exactly what you inject. Well, not all the time, but you inject other parasites. I don't want to name the ones I think they are, but the thing is, you make me even eat them. You made me fucking drink water with fucking... And it's disgusting that the water that I finally saw, the dust, that was probably a pesticide, or who knows, but this is disgusting that you're doing that. And the fact that I don't even know if it's continuing or not. I'm not going to boil water all the time to find out if there's things inside. I know the other day it was, and if they stop doing that, at least even if you would stop, the thing is, it's just like my air purifier. There's no white dust in it now, but in a day there could be. Sometimes I'm bleeding, and as I'm making the video, I stop. I go, nothing of a reaction from the environment or from a procedure in the building could go away within seconds. That means you have setups. And who's going to investigate those? Anthony Housewater? I tried. Everybody says it indirectly. We think you're mentally ill. Why would I be mentally ill when there's police vehicles there? I never had that problem in my life. And I confirmed that they smiled in an evil way. And then I have marks on my body, mutilations, all red. How could I do that to myself? Why wouldn't I do that before when I had stress as a teenager, cut or something? No. Oh my God, I would scratch my head because I told that to my social. Remember you said you would scratch your head? No, well, I'm cutting myself everywhere. And sometimes I do because the poison is so hard, I want to take it out, but not cut myself in a dangerous way. Just like when you poke a pimple. Oh my God. Have you heard people being psychiatrized, evaluated for busting their pimples? That's the worst I did to my body. Oh, that's a crime. You could freaking follow me, torture me, send vehicles and big construction and big snowplows to practically run me over. Sometimes I have to dive. I'm not exaggerating that I never had to actually dive, but it was close just to get away from your vehicles coming close to me. You haven't done that recently. The police car wasn't that close, but close enough to get me and make me sick. So even though those things didn't kill me yet, and you're not doing things in an obvious way, you're still cowards because you don't up to it. That's why I said when Trump got voted in, because he was telling me, yeah, well, Warlock, soon we're going to head towards truth. We're starting with criminal truth because all governments in all the parts of the world, there is no country right now that I don't see as criminal. So don't take it personally when I say call you criminals, police, because what would you call following and torturing somebody? I was going the other. What would you call that, police? That's the satisfaction, not to hurt any police officer or any government official or any person from Apple's. I never would have felt that passion with a lady friend when I was into women and partying and drinking and maybe other things. Never would I have taken so much satisfaction in intimate moments of someone I loved, or playing with kitty cats, with a room of kitty cats, and people know I love kitty cats. Who doesn't? If you love vibes and cute, adorable, fluffy things that are just with attitude, at least I'm honest enough to say I would love so much for any officer on camera. They already have done it to me with that evil smile, but they knew I had no recording mechanism. That's the coward part, police. That's not you tough, because you have everything on your side. Just like in the long run, in this temporary charade of life, which is fragile and fleeting, you have dominance over me. But everywhere else, bye-bye. You have you're no match for me, because it's not, I'm not in a competitive way. You are still competitive in minute. I've learned that competing and thinking you're better than others is physically you could have different talents, like even Sadhguru and masters say. On 3D, you could have a talent more than someone else, less. You could be practically handicapped, but you could still be with resonance of happiness and love and more power than someone that's a superstar young athlete, super healthy, more than someone meditating and sick and old or young and handicapped and weak. But there are levels of purity in the body to meditate. That's why when I suffer with your attacks, it stops me from meditating. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't even know if I'll show this video. I just had to say it because when I saw Seth making fun of Trump, that's the only thing I like about him, that he says what he does. You have an idea how to avoid him or protect yourself or compromise with him. Police, there's only one thing that you're tough but horribly beyond crime is that you're not leaving me a way out. I couldn't have possibly known when you said that, whatever officer, if you're still, I hope you're still healthy and watching this, and maybe if you think that karma is somewhere creeping around you because it's wrong what you did, create all this around me, just because that they allowed you, because they empowered you to make a crime out of someone asking for help. There is no way that's a crime. Maybe it's not a policy to record the 911. Then they should have said, well, we could record you, but you can't record us. Hey, some people are starting to say it on the news. That's why I like it, like the BBC, that even though Trump is a bully, technically in a way he looks like it, at least he admits it. And they said, yeah, we forged, we edited and did something criminal about his reporting. So why aren't they penalized for that, the BBC, which associate with Canada, right? So in other words, Canada, or people that associate with Canada, broadcasting, CRTC, admitted that they freaking lie on camera. The SACLIC, bottom line, doesn't matter what you do in your, it's a crime. What Trudeau did, it's crimes, but they could do them. We can't even defend ourselves and ask for help, and we get punished for that and controlled and put worse than death. But governments get, so we need a revolution. It doesn't matter how you revolt, whether you revolt in business, whether you revolt on the streets, whether you revolt not like those guys. That's the only revolt I don't like. The revolts with weapons and trying to take territory. Because first of all, even if you could do that, you'd be just becoming like the enemy. It's like me. If I would hate and curse, I wouldn't be talking about it, that I'm tempted sometimes, because what other choice do I have? If I was weak and cowering, like, I don't want to say people, some family members or friends, they're cowering because first of all, it's not their business. I had the attitude to stand up and be a sort of dissident, but I was an unintentional dissident because I was fighting for my life. So I was already in fight or flight. Now, police, it's 7 years you're putting me in fight or flight, and the last 4 years you're making me tortured, that my body's not working anymore, and I don't know how long I have to live. That's nice. And you keep attacking where I live, you keep following me, you keep being proud. You know, obviously, my email was erased. Of course, you check my email. You know I've talked to Anthony Housewater, well, in whatever, emails, not in person. But even if I talked to him in person, he would have to lie or avoid, and he was polite about it, but he still avoided my questions. Was he going to investigate the police? Was he going to motivate the police to say, you're doing a crime? It's not worth it, police. I have no weapons or power to hurt any government or policing force. And I have no intent of doing that. But like I say, just like when you said I could have been a danger. I am, I was, and I will be a danger. Guaranteed. Not a danger, me. But the energy, what you've done to me, is gonna... Obviously, you want that, so that's what you get. God is a bit like Twilight Zone. Every time you want violence, that's what you seek. When you seek love in another person, well, you also seek that the person might say, bye-bye. So then your heart is like, ah. So when you seek to control and punish someone, the universe just says, okay, so sooner or later, you're going to be controlled. Or you're going to see suffering and death, which comes to everybody. Maybe not that much suffering in some, maybe more in others. But you will say, did I earn this extra suffering and fear? Maybe. Why did I have to torture an innocent old person that all he wanted was peace and was begging and pleading and saying, but not begging, pleading. There's a difference. I plead that I'm innocent. You know I'm innocent. Well, maybe I'm a criminal according to your laws. Obviously, if the law is that you can't go against the government, then I am a criminal. I am a dissident. If I can't even express myself and be alive, just because it doesn't fit the average person's living in Apopex, that they love the pesticide and they bathe in it. And even if they die in it or get cancer in it, they're okay with that because they're, sorry to say, too stupid to realize it. But no one likes the truth. Just like A Few Good Men, the guy that died, that was from his son. Unfortunately, that's mental health problems, police. When someone actually does an act that makes no sense, then you could judge them mentally ill if you don't find a logical reason. If somebody kills your family, my dear officer, and you know who it is, and you hurt them or you jail them, that's logical if they had a reason to do that. But if they had no reason, obviously it's a little thing that happened, and just like you, police, you clicked, oh my God, let's torture him. Let's show him that he has no right. That is crazy. That is mañata crazy what you're doing to me, mutilating and you know I'm speeching it. So there's a perverted part of you that likes that I'm telling people. There's a part of you that doesn't like that I'm making the videos, but then when I take them out, you celebrate more. So what does that tell me? That there is no way I could bargain or plead or come to a compromise. Maybe one day, Montreal, especially politically, conflict-wise, you're going to be in the same situation like me. You're going to say, just like it's already happening for Canada, they try to plead, they try to ask even to compromise with Trump, but there is no, and I agree, Trump and Canada, when it comes to the trade deals, Canada is totally right. And that's why people voted for Carney, because he said, yes, I can solve all the problems. Just like Trump said, I could stop the war in 2 seconds. His ego got the better of him. Maybe he did have intention. In some ways, Trump has good intentions. But from a king-type dictatorship point, and everybody is polarized on the planet. Even good people like me, some of them say, I would have already been secretly cursing and saying, oh, I love and forgive you, and being a hypocrite, and on the side doing, oh, no, even when I did it, I said, no, God, please interfere. And I'm saying it on camera, I want God to punish you as much as doesn't involve me. Meaning is if he sees it's wrong what you're doing to me, and it's so unbalanced, David and Goliath type, I want God to smite you, police. Yes, and I'm declaring it. I'm humble enough and even apologizing to God if I shouldn't feel this. But I don't live in that moment. I just say, why do I have to be tortured every day? That energy has to go somewhere when you make me feel everywhere. And you know I see them. And the guy's saying, pass. He's blocking my path. When I've walked through there before, even with thick pants, I got these like red marks that made me ill, like being bitten by a wasp. That's not normal life that you're creating for me. Even if you say, well, it's not fatal. He did bug us. Oh, I bugged you, 20 minutes? And you want to bug me the rest of my life just because I was sick and I acted not politically correct. I admit it wasn't politically or coloring in the box, but that's not a crime. Not legally, not spiritually, not morally. So why are you doing this to me? This is my question. If I could really get you to be honest instead of say that bullshit, if I feel like reading every part of that paper and say, damn the Collège des Médecins, even though they try, because when they accepted that my file was corrupted, even though I don't give a shit about what people think about my mental health, because if they think anything negative about my mental health, it's because they're monsters. Anybody that tries to attack someone's mental health without any logic, without any person going and attacking someone, and you have no reason, that's the only way you can confirm biologically or scientifically that someone is unstable. When they do an act that's out of control, and they repeat it, especially if they repeat it, and there's no reason for it. So, police. I could, if I were a doctor, I could say, man, you're mentally ill. Yes, because you have no reason to hurt me. And the bad publicity you got, if ever there's a buildup for a revolution, a physical one with weapons, whose fault do you think is going to be, mine or yours? I think, by George, I think it's you, Montreal Police and Apopex. You're participating in those people getting together with weapons. Because unlike me, they don't believe that there's a justice that's going to be even part of the people hurting you, saying one day, well, that's wrong. That's what I believe in, love, forgiveness. But it doesn't mean you don't get punished because I believe in love and faith. It doesn't believe I won't draw the line in the sand. You know it that I'll defend myself. And I know I can't. Not physically and psychically, again, I'm not sure. But God is going to get you because God doesn't give a shit. Or the part of God that's karma it's a law that's indisputable. Gravity even might change slightly, but it still exists to keep us on the planet. So laws that keep planets together are sure, and you can't twist them. You can't twist them in a temporary, delusional, egocentric, like Trump way. Say, well, I'm going to bomb that country. You can't do that. We're going to torture that citizen. Trump did it big. You're doing it small. We like to torture that guy. It's fun. We could do it. All the police. Da-da-da-da-da-da. John LeBon and John and Minnie Maple. You're acting worse than that stupid cartoon, which is fun, and I like it. But it's still a program to brainwash kids' mind. So that was me getting a little bit of, because I know it's not going to change anything. Or is it? Maybe one day it's going to dawn on you. It's logical what he said. You are criminally insane, but don't feel left out, because you're not. It's 90% of the planet is criminally insane right now, because they don't know how to reach to that. Oh, we're all valuable. Let's find a way to respect everybody. And even if you want to put the population lower, tell them that you're going to put them down. Tell me you're going to torture me till my death. And don't tell just me, because you've already given me evils. Tell the people, and then let them choose if they want to be on the street saying, no, 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 and throwing rocks at government buildings. That's justice. Because what you're doing to me deserves more than violence and a physical weaponized revolution. Do I wish for it? No. But if people are not influenced in the next 5-6 years with spiritual love, then I vote for that. Then I recommend people to be violent to an extreme way. Because police, you're being violent towards me. I never touched you. I never threatened you. So it's not fair. So it deserves that if God doesn't interfere, I pray every day that there's a revolution. Like that song. And I pray for a revolution. Because this is not right, police. No, 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 no. You didn't like my finger going like that. You have to know the spirit that's making me talk now doesn't bow to you. It doesn't bow to your torture. You're putting me near death so many times. It's not that I'm not used to it, and it bothers me and scares me, but it also makes me not hate you. It makes me call out. Karma. Send them the gift. Blow back the kiss that they're giving you. That's all karma is. It's love. I may sound hateful, but I'm not hateful. If I was hateful, I'd say it. Yes, I would risk going to jail forever. But that's why. Didn't I risk by asking for help in recording and saying, no, it's your job to help me? Didn't I risk? Look what I'm living. So the same thing now. If I hated you, police, I would tell you, but it would be well-deserved, the hate I have for you. Yeah, you would deserve it. No kidding. You hate me and you torture me and you enjoy it every day for me asking you for help. It doesn't match. Anybody listening to this, my dear Anthony, it doesn't match the punishment and crime I did, even if it is a subjugated attitude or entitlement type of reaction that you're doing to me, putting me in this kind of torturous life. And it's worse than prison, worse than in psychiatry, because even there you started fucking torturing me. This is a torture when you put a blood pressure wrapper on someone and you weaponize it. This is it. This is the ultimate. And the blood and the polygraph wouldn't flinch if I'd say that in front of a polygraph. If a crazy person could be as versatile and logical and expressive and confident and daring as me, then the world would be ended already. If there would be a possibility that I'd be crazy. No, there is 0%. And you know it. And you can't face me. You could torture me. You could come with 1 million officers and say, we think you're crazy. Yeah, because that's all you could do is lie. Wait, on top of another lie, on top of another lie. And that's what you're going to have. But I'm not lying to you when I say karma's going to make you think. Why am I doing this to this guy? How much do I hate that he could speak up even under this fucking torturous non-life conditions? I have no one else in my life because of you, police. But I don't care. I don't want revenge. I want justice. And it's time that it's going to starts. Just like Trump is bombing. It's justice. I don't agree with this method. But this is a way that one day, just like Trump did, there's going to be a revolution in Montreal. And if bigger than in other countries in Iran, there is, because they don't, maybe it's not that they care or not about me. It's irrelevant. But they know that if this happened to me, that I asked for help, imagine all these people that are extreme with religion and opinions and even want to dominate and have coups and all that. They're going to be scared, so they're going to be thinking of what do we do? And maybe there is no solution. Maybe they don't have the courage to fight back. Because me too, I'm not fighting back. In a way, my ego is hiding behind the umbrella corporation, hiding behind God, because even as a human being, it's not that I'm not ready. I don't care about being, it's like I'm not motivated. There is no value for me in a temporary revenge in fighting back. How could I fight back? It's all corruption all over. So there's no one to help me here but God. And that's why it's easy for my ego. It's easy for my logic, Because the moment it's like the guy, pass. It's like you're blocking my exits, you're blocking my transportation, you're blocking my path to food and water. That's a horrible crime. That should deserve also a physical revolution, full scale, full fires, full bombs. Yes, you deserve more than that. But I don't wish it. But if there is no spiritual solution and no compromising and no path of balance by 2030 to 2032, I pray for a revolution, just like that song says. I pray for, and not out of hate, out of compassion, so you see that what you're doing is wrong, because people are going to do it back to you. You're outnumbered. We're more than you, police, government. So all it takes is enough getting organized. I'm so checked, I wouldn't be able to do it, so don't bother spying on me. Well, you're doing it anyways. You're doing it in the wrong place. You should do it in the real organizations, like people getting together with weapons and money and lawyers. That's who you should check, police, not me. Whether they're gangs or whether they're just people fed up, people like me, but without the spirituality. If I didn't have spirituality in me, you wouldn't see these videos. But maybe you would see, or maybe you would know because that you did something wrong to me. Meaning is, if I wasn't honest, maybe I would have found a way. I don't know, because I can't think evil. You're the expert on that, police. Sneaky attacks, evil, gaslighting, lies on top of lies on top of lies on top of lies. That's all you are. You're a lie. And that lie will end, because lies always bubble to the top. So it is a bit of ego that I'm making this video. But I just want to make sure people know what I see, and what I'm not scared to declare, because fear is something I don't want to live in. You could do everything else to me, but take away control my fear and worry. Of course I know I'm going to die and tortured and all that. But what are you going to get? This is what you don't understand. That's what you haven't grasped yet. You think a little bad luck here and there in health crisis or people making complaints or being filmed doing horrible things to people, police, that's nothing. What you're going to see probably after I'm gone is going to be, you're going to say, like that emoji, maybe we shouldn't have tortured this poor fucking fellow for no fucking effing logical reason.